Hi, today I'm going to make basil pesto with chicken and vegetables. So it's kind of a two-part meal, or to make it is two-part meal. So I make two different recipes at the same time, and you'll see why. One of the first things to do is that we have this cookware, the Chef Series cookware, and it's awesome. It's all coated. It's not Teflon coated. It's layers of non-stick material so it doesn't peel off. It's got a lifetime warranty. It's got that induction, so you turn the stove on. If you have an induction stove, the thing will only go on if you have the pan on, which was a problem when I used one of my non-Tupperware pans because it didn't go on, and I was like, why didn't it work? But what we're going to do is we're going to start with the chicken. We're going to start with the chicken because we need to get that cooking while we do the basil pesto. You can do the basil pesto by itself, so that's kind of a separate recipe. So the first thing you do is you put 2 tablespoons of olive oil, so exactly about that much. You actually don't need very much oil because it's a non-stick surface, and every time I take the pan off, it'll turn off. Turn it off. Nice and cool. So it's a non-stick surface. So what you're gonna do is put some salt and pepper on the chicken and put it in the pan and start cooking it. And the pots are really good. There's like no cleanup after you cook it. And sometimes you have to scrub and soak pans for days to get them clean. But with the Tupperware pans, they're all lined, coated. And you can read online what it's called, lined or coated or 7 layers of stuff. It cooks it really well. One thing you have to be really careful is when you're cooking chicken, you don't want to get it all over the place because it can have that salmonella in it. But luckily I have a kitchen right here. So I can wash my hands. And the microfiber towels from Tupperware are awesome. You don't have to use paper towels. You can use this. So this is cooking, and it has a cover so you can watch it. You don't have to keep lifting it to see if it's cooking well or not, because I can see it while it's cooking. You can see it while it's cooking. We're going to get it cooking. And the recipe calls for basil pesto for when you're done cooking the chicken. So we're going to make the basil pesto. And I have to tell you, I'm really happy because basil came out of my son's garden, so he grew the basil. So the rest of the stuff is, of course, not homegrown, but the basil is homegrown. And I've already washed it. And dried it. You use about 2 cups of basil. I love the smell of basil. I never knew I loved the smell of basil until I started making basil pesto. I actually never knew I liked basil pesto. And it's a really easy demo to do in Tupperware. So that's why I started making it. And it's really good. So I'll keep that. So that's 2 cups of basil, fresh from the garden. Use about 2 cloves of garlic. And then you use 1/4 cup of pine nuts. I use a little bit more, and I use walnuts. You can use pine nuts, walnuts, or whatever nut you want to use. But I use a little bit more than 1/2 cup because when it gets all ground up, it makes about 1/4 cup. So I make sure we have enough. And then you use 2/3 a cup of olive oil. And I use whatever brand is on sale. That makes the best basil pesto. If you have a special olive oil that you like, the extra light is good to have. And you pour that in. And then half a cup of grated Parmesan or Paracone cheese. I don't know what that is. But I grate the Parmesan cheese up. Our grater is awesome. Or you can throw it in here and grate it in here too. Oil. I know when all the area over here is empty, I remember to use everything. Oh, and then salt to taste. I don't know how you salt it to taste, but just put some salt inside. I measure everything exactly. Okay. And then you gotta make sure that, oh, can you guys hear it sizzling? It's really awesome. You see it browning it? There's only a very little bit amount of olive oil in here. And I think it's more for the taste than, for cooking it, because it doesn't stick at all in the pan. Okay. And these handles don't get hot. These handles don't get hot. If you stick it in the oven, and you can stick it in the oven, they'll get hot. But when you're using it on the stovetop, they don't get hot, which is great because I tend to grab stuff and then I'll burn myself. So this is the Power Chef Pro, and it's really great at chopping up stuff and burning calories. I have my Fitbit on. Burning calories, and it looks like I'm walking more. So you really want, I think most basil pestos, I've actually never eaten it at a store or at a restaurant, so I think most basil pestos are really pretty fine. Do you see how good it's getting chopped up? If you can see that. But this is a really good, I think it's really expensive when you buy it in the store. I never bought it in the store, but if you go to the farmer's market and you buy a bunch of basil, they sell them in the bunches. I think it's about $2 or $3 at our farmer's market. And then you put the cheese and olive oil on. Makes a really tasty dip, and it's really inexpensive. I'm actually going to cut it up a lot. So I want to make sure the chicken is frying enough. The recipe says you can use 4 chicken thighs. And in Hawaii, we use chicken thighs more than we use chicken breasts. But I found out that Weight Watchers, the chicken breasts have 0 points. If you ate chicken thighs, it costs you points. I think the keto diet, I think that uses, I think they recommend chicken breasts in that too. There's no skin, no bones, just the meat itself. And of course, when I went to the store, the chicken breasts were on sale. So I was like, well, guaranteed that's what we're going to have. Chicken breasts. Okay. Just love basil pesto. That's why I hate trying new things, because when you try new things, that's all you want to eat. And the recipe calls for half a cup of basil pesto. Doesn't that look good? You smell it. It smells so good. I got my Tupperware plate with Triscuits on it because I have to test it and make sure it tastes okay. What we're going to do is we're going to take out half a cup for the basil pesto for the recipe. And basil pesto goes a long way, so you don't have to make a lot of it. And what you can do is when you have leftovers, like I have, this is more than half a cup. It's like another whole half a cup. What you can do is you can put it in a You can put it in a container and save it. And basil pesto tastes really good on whole wheat spaghetti or macaroni or anything like that. It tastes really good on it. My assistant cleans that up after I'm done cooking, so I don't have to worry. I just throw it in the sink. It gets cleaned up later. You always should taste your food. Make sure it turned out. Oops. Make sure it turned out okay. When I play this back, I'm gonna have to hear if you can hear this sizzling or not. Sizzling pretty well. I like to try and get it most of the way cooked before I finish the rest of the recipe. So I'm gonna show you. This is one of the vent and serves that doesn't come out very often. So if you have a party in the next couple weeks, or you look out for it, this is the vent and serve. So you can put food in here. And when you put food in here, you can stick it in the freezer, pick it out, pop this up, put it in the microwave, and then eat from here because it's a divided dish. So you can put the chicken here. You can put potatoes here, another vegetable here. It's really awesome. This is actually probably a good size for a big guy or for two people. But if it's all vegetables, it's good. I like making the potatoes in the micro grill and putting it with it. They have the divided dish every once in a while. Now, for this part, you take the chicken out. It's nice. It's pretty neat how it browns it. Okay, take the chicken out. And then you pour in the green beans, about a pound of green beans. This is a fridge smart. It keeps the vegetables fresher longer. So about a pound of green beans. Some cherry tomatoes. There were more cherry tomatoes when I started, but about 2 cups of cherry tomatoes cut in half. Now, the thing that's good about, well, it's interesting about that is I like cherry tomatoes. I'm not really crazy about cooked cherry tomatoes. So what you can do is I put them in anyway because the taste gets in the rest of the dish. Okay, good, and then half a cup of basil pesto. The only thing about doing a demo at home and videoing it, you guys do not get to smell the food. It is really, really good. And it's really colorful too. It's really colorful. So you simmer that for a little while. And you cut the chicken. I really need to get Tupperware tongs. I don't know if they don't come out that often, or I just keep missing them, or what. This isn't cooked all the way through, but it's okay because it's gonna simmer for a little bit longer. So it'll definitely be cooked by the time we put it or we eat it. It's one of my favorite dishes I make. There's one I learned how to make with Rachel Ray, and I was like, I never make recipes from like people. I just usually learn them from somebody. We have demos at our Tupperware rally every week, and we learn a lot of recipes that way. Or you can look online for Tupperware recipes. So if you look for the Power Chef, there's tons of recipes, salsa and things like that that you can make. And this doesn't stick, so you can leave it on high. I wouldn't leave it on high because you'll burn the food, but it doesn't stick on the pan. It's awesome. These chicken breasts are really big. Probably didn't need to make that much. But there's a couple of ways of doing meal prep. One is that you don't cook any of the food. You put all the food in, you get all the food ready, and you put it in Tupperware freezer containers. And then the day that you want to eat it, you take it out and you cook it. So you'll have like a pot roast. You have a pot roast, and it's in the Tupperware with the beef broth and the onion and all the seasoning and carrots and potatoes and everything in there. And you can throw it in your slow cooker or your pressure cooker or your oven or on the stove. It doesn't matter. You don't have to stand there and buy all the ingredients and get it all ready because you already did that ahead of time. What you can do is when you're making a pot roast, you buy 2 pot roasts and you cook one of them for dinner and you get everything ready for the other one. I mean, it's a lot of chicken. You get the other one ready and you put it in Tupperware and you mark it pot roast and you freeze it. And then during the week when it you don't want to cook, you just take it out of the freezer and you put it in one of those places to cook it, and it looks like you cooked out and what you didn't. And when we do meal prep at my house, we have a lot of fun because everybody makes their meals at the same time. So we have fun, we have refreshments, and we have a good time doing that. Let this simmer for a few minutes. And then the other way to do meal prep is, this will be dinner tonight, but there's way too much for just my husband and I. So what I'll do is I'll leave out like half of it, which probably will still be too much, and then I'll put the other half in these vent and serve containers, like this. And then I can freeze it, and then the next time I want to have lunch or dinner, I can just take it out of the freezer, microwave it. It goes straight into the microwave from the freezer. You microwave it, take it out, and you can eat it. I have to use less chicken next time. It's kind of funny. I should say 4 chicken breasts or chicken thighs, but under 2 pounds. Okay, does that look good or what? I love it. So we will take some out. And then what you do is you'll have lunch ready or dinner ready for a night you don't feel like cooking. And instead of having those pre-packaged meals that cost an arm and a leg and aren't healthy and have a lot of preservatives in it, you know exactly what is in this dish. You know exactly what it is and what you're going to eat. So, that looks really good. And you can serve it with potatoes or pasta, or you can serve it with rice, or if you use this big container to serve it in, just put it in that thing, you put it with some potatoes and carrots, something healthy, and you have 2 freezer meals ready to go, and you have dinner done all at one time. I think that's just awesome. This is what I'll tell you. Do you have any questions? But you can't ask me questions anyway. So hope you enjoyed it. I hope you try it. If you have questions, please call me or email me, and I will try and help you. Okay, bye.